Hey y'all, welcome back to Homestead. It is a windy, cool, sunny day here in Alabama. I'm gonna show you my raised bed real quick. I got a lot to talk about. So I'm in front of the house here. Guys, me and my husband cleaned this with bleach and water this past weekend to try to get some algae off of it. We scrub brushed it. I'm going to paint that this week before I work on my bed anymore. I did a video on clearing land and new raised beds, and I've got one right here started. I put down cardboard this past weekend. It's blowing everywhere because the wind was just horrendous. I put it down before the rain. That's the first step in making this, but I'm going to show you step by step how to make this bed. That's not what this video is about. But anyways, you can see the algae and all on the porch. We're probably going to redo the porch this summer. I've painted it, bleached it, and it still grows back, and it was painted white when I got a hold of it, and it will not be painted anymore. But anyways, I'm going to paint the block wall this week, and then I am going to work this week on this bed and hopefully have it just about done, and I'll video that for you guys and go from there. So that's why I'm standing here in front of cardboard and an old block wall. So anyways, I want to talk to you guys. One of the YouTubers that I watch, well, I used to watch, but I've not had time to. I noticed he did a video and he mentioned something a week or two ago about the carbon footprint of gardening. And I said, surely this is not going to be the next big thing. Well, apparently it might be. I've researched some articles and it's on, you can Google it for yourself. Carbon footprint of home gardening. Home gardening, okay? Not commercial. They're saying commercial's less. They're saying backyard gardening is detrimental to the environment, that every time you dig in the dirt, it releases carbon. It's not good. Now, they would approve of some method like this where it's no-till. They would not approve of me cutting the trees to make that as a border. They say every time you cut a tree, it's bad for the environment. Every time that you dig, it's bad for the environment. Every time you buy a transplant, it's bad for the environment. They say start seeds indoors, or start your own seeds to grow your own transplants. I can understand all this, but what I don't understand is if commercial farming produces less carbon in the environment, then why are they telling you to start your own plants from seeds? I mean, if somebody's growing these commercially in a greenhouse, and that's not good for the environment, then why is it okay for all these, the equipment to get cranked up and fired up and release gas and everything else out into the environment? I mean, why is that okay? Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with any of it. I don't care if you buy your food. I don't care if you grow your food. I don't care what you do. I think you ought to be able to do whatever. I personally like to grow my own food. I think of food shipped in from other countries here, and I think of all the gas that it takes to get them here. I think of the labor and the price per hour and everything else that it takes to get one apple here to the U.S. That's what I think of. I think that is a lot more detrimental than having a fruit tree in the backyard. I really do. If you go out with a basket and pick it yourself, I really do. Maybe I'm just, out of place. I don't know. To me, it's crazy. That's my own opinion. I don't see how backyard gardening is bad, but they say it is. So, are we in Zootopia? I mean, are we in Zootopia? Because what bothers me is this right here, and usually I am positive and uplifting, but today I'm giving a warning signal, okay? Somebody out there is actually going to listen to this and take it to heart. Somebody will not plant a garden this year because this is being put out there. So what I'm telling you is this. I've got a gas vehicle, okay? Don't you think that it might be a little bit worse every time you drive that vehicle than going out here and picking a zucchini out of your raised bed? I'm just saying. For the environment. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I personally will keep driving the gas vehicle, and I personally will keep picking the zucchini out of my raised bed. That's just what I'm going to do. Guys, you can take everything to the extreme. If you hunt and search long enough, everything, unless it is completely natural, is bad for the environment, I'm sure. Every time you crank that tiller, every time you go buy a fence post from your farm store, because you got to think of how the fence post got here. What did it take in the factory to make a fence post? What did it do? But what they don't say is how much oxygen does the plants put off into the air? How much more beneficial is it for pollinators to come to your garden for the environment? I had so many birds and bees this year. How beneficial is that? How beneficial is it for your health to get out here in the sunshine and do all this stuff? How much more beneficial is it to have just anti-stress and peace of mind to get out in your garden and do something that you enjoy? And you grew it right here. You didn't have to have it shipped from across the world to your grocery store and then go drive to get it and bring it back. I see nothing wrong with backyard gardening. I just don't, okay? I think some methods are better than others, but I think as long as you get out there and try, it really don't matter. I don't care if you grow in a bucket. I don't care if you grow in a pasture. I don't care what you do, okay? I've got nothing against commercialized farming whatsoever. I personally don't. I think you ought to thank a farmer every day because it's hard work. But I also think with the equipment that they use and everything else, that there's no way that is less detrimental to the environment than me having this right here, which apparently they'd approve of it because it's no dig and no till, and but they wouldn't approve of me cutting that tree. So what about building a house? What about all the equipment and gas and it takes and bulldozers and everything else to clear and build a house? And how much lumber does it take to build a house? People don't take that into consideration. So I don't know if it's just a media thing right now or if it's I don't know. I really don't know. But like I said, somebody will listen to that and think that is, that they don't need to have a garden this year. And guys, you got to have an ace in the hole, okay? I don't show you all my gardens. I don't. I've just personally chose not to do that. Some I've got that's bigger than what I've shown you on here by far. I don't tell you all that. I don't show you. I tell you, but I don't show you all that. There's a reason. I mean, for some crazy reason, if they ever did put restrictions on gardening, I don't think they would. I would hope not. But if they did, I don't, you kind of need to be prepared for that. I would hate to think that somebody wouldn't be able to have a backyard garden. But you look at HOAs and things like that right now. Now, you chose to get in that if you're in it. You chose. So, I'm just saying. Now, I live out here in the country. I can do as I please. That comes with some drawbacks, too. I talked to somebody this morning, and I said, hey, we had dogs tear up our chicken coops. So, there's no leash law. There's nothing. You can roam free from place to place. So, there's drawbacks, too, to living in the country. But if I want to be able to do whatever right here, I can. And that's the beautiful thing. I don't have to have anybody watching what I'm doing or approving of it. I've never been too big on that anyways. I don't like somebody to tell me what they think is approvable or not, and I certainly don't think my landscape ought to be in that. Now, you can see my landscape in this old broke down block wall back here certainly would not be eye appealing. I understand that, but I'm going to try to fix it. What I'm saying is, guys, if you think that having a small backyard garden does worse for the environment than commercialized farming, I encourage you to research that yourself and think long and hard about it, okay? I think it's just something else to say on the media right now. I do not think that anything would happen out of that, but you also need to think like, hey, why is that our concern right now? Why is that our concern of somebody having a backyard garden growing 5 zucchini plants? I mean, we were told for years that helps the environment. Don't we have bigger fish to fry right now? I mean, you can't win for losing. It's a distraction. That's all it is. It's just pure distraction. But the reason I wanted to get on here was to tell you guys, like, look, if you really think it's bad, you can do stuff like no dig, no till. It's better for me anyways because I don't have to fool with the tiller while my husband's not here. It works out and it's free, and I'm a tightwad, so I love it, okay? It just takes some back-breaking work to get out here and do it, but maybe you can change your gardening methods. I don't know if you're concerned about it. I'm not going to hold anything against anybody if they go out here and crank a tiller, crank a diesel engine. I don't care, okay? Hey, you do what you think's best. I'm not on here to say that, and that's really what I'm saying, okay? Do as you see fit. Now, let's move on. As far as homesteading, sometimes it feels like we're just getting picked on. Picked on, and like it's just a click. And guys, that's why I do this so many times. And I tell you, put your channel up under mine, and I'm going to do it for this video. If you've got a channel and you're watching me, advertise yourself up under here. If I say to do that, do it, okay? Try to get people over to your channel. Ours is growing. It's picked up a lot in just the past 90 days. It's done better than it's ever done. I want people to keep going and keep joining our channel, but I want yours to grow too. And the reason I'm so passionate about this, guys, the people especially that I promote and I say, hey, go check out their channel, they've always been kind. The only thing I ask is that you give me a shout out back as well. That way we can grow together. When you start excluding people and excluding things, that gets into this, well, I feel like I can't do it. And I feel like I can't be like them. And it's hard because, guys, most of the people that I watch, your average backyard homesteaders and the people that are showing you how to do this day by day, they're the ones you need to be listening to. Not the people that's on here doing it for, because they've got 1 million followers. It's just the average Joes that are on here showing you how to do this stuff. That's usually your best content. But it seems like, I guess when people get so big, they just lose sight of that and they don't show you that anymore. And so that's why I want to support smaller channels. We have had channels, larger channels. I've reached out to them, nothing, just knocking at a door. And I don't, you know, I wish they'd support the little man too. I kind of feel that way about everything in society. I wish the little man had a say. But, you know, whatever. So, you know, there has actually been, I'm going to say this, there has actually been somebody that I helped get started on YouTube. I know this person personally. They were taking my content and literally redoing it, just saying it themselves. Guys, that is so wrong. So what I'm saying is promote your channel. If I say that, do it. Just don't go out and redo the same video I'm doing, and none of y'all have, okay? I finally removed the person from the channel last week. I said, like, this just went too far. This just went way too far. Never got a shout out, never got a ask question, nothing. I know that we're gonna go over the same topics, but if I show you how to make a quesadilla on an open fire and you turn around and show somebody how to do that, or the same day, and I know that may happen as a fluke, but when you're doing the same content over and over and over and over that I'm doing, and you've jumped up here and I'm still way down here, that's not fair. I have a homesteading group actually on the internet, and it's on Facebook, and we all wanted to get together and possibly do classes. I even said, let's do our own meet and greet, because there's a YouTuber meet and greet going on here right now in Alabama, and it's a big thing. And I asked to get in that, and they said, of course it's full. I asked last year, of course it's full. I don't know who you need to know to get into it. But I was posting on my group. I said, well, let's do our own. Let's do our own for the little people. And somebody turns around up under there and says, well, I want y'all all to come to my group instead. I mean, the same group. They took the name of the group and literally switched the words around. That's not right. And they just made their own group, and they just want everybody to start coming out of mine to theirs. This is like non-profit. I was just trying to educate you on homesteading. But y'all, like, I don't know. I guess we're in Zootopia. I don't know. How would you think that's right? I messaged the person. I said, look, I'm the admin. I said, I appreciate you trying to spread the knowledge about homesteading, but why don't you interact with our group first before you try to pull everybody over to yours? You know? I mean, my goodness, I don't understand. Maybe I would take it as a compliment, people copying and such, but I don't think that that's right. And like I said, I finally had to get the person off the channel, and I hate to say that, but I did, because it takes a lot of work, and especially now that we're monetized, I'm trying so hard, and I sit and think about things I can come up with and discuss with you guys and try to do and show you and stuff that I'm doing on my own, and it's hard. It's very hard. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. And then for somebody to turn around and literally take the same ideas and show you day by day everything that I'm talking about, next week they'll have the video on that. That's not right. Especially if you know the person. Come on now. Come on. That ain't right. So anyways, I banned them, and I don't do stuff like that. I'll remove an ugly comment, but I don't do stuff like that. But guys, oh me. People are trying to make a dime off of it. That's what it boils down to. Somebody somewhere, the camera's shaking, the wind's blowing, somebody's making a dime. And yes, we are monetized, but I am not sitting here trying to just use you or use other people for money. I'm not doing that. I've done every single inch of this on my own, okay? If you like it here, I'm glad you're here. If you don't, you're welcome to leave. That's how we are. I mean, they see something good and they want to copy it. That way they can just, I started this Are You Prepared? I don't know how many channels I've seen, and I come up with that on my own. I knew that somebody would have that out there somewhere, but I just did it myself, and I tried to talk about basic stuff instead of just stock up for food over and over and over like everybody talks about. I've talked about bugging out with mosquitoes and tornadoes, because we do prep. I think it's great, and again, you're going to overlap the same subjects at some point. I understand that, and it may be a fluke sometimes. I understand that too, because I will have an idea of something I want to talk about, and sure enough, that morning somebody will post it just what I was going to talk about, and I said, I can't do that today. If you don't want to step on anybody's toes, or seem like you're copying like that person did me, but when it's habitual, that's just not cool. That's not cool. that lets me know those people too, if they're doing that, they're not getting out here and working, because A, they're spending too much time watching somebody else, and B, they're more worried about making a dime than they are getting out here and growing, okay? My least viewed videos are the ones where I show you how to grow. I couldn't grow anything. I couldn't grow a flower. I could not even keep a rose bush alive. Canned over 1,000 jars of food this year. I know what I'm doing. People don't want to watch that. People don't care. I don't know what's going on. They just don't care. They just go to the store, it's convenient, and that's it. They don't. Unless it's some kind of clickbait, people aren't really interested. And it's sad, you know? I just want to get people to open up their eyes and see what's going on, just like this carbon deal. I want them to realize this is the shape that we're in. We are worried about a backyard raised bed, and we have, you know, I'm not even going to discuss what I think right now as far as the state of things. I'm not, you already know what I'm going to say, okay? I'm sure you agree. Most of you probably agree. The state of society right now and things that are going on. Go turn on the news for 5 minutes if you trust the source. Go turn it on and come back to me and let me know exactly what you think. If you think we got more problems bigger than a backyard garden, I would say we do. So, just a lot of stuff today, guys. A lot of stuff to talk about, and our content is pure. I'm giving it to you as best as I can think, and everything that we do every day. So, but don't, back to the homesteading groups, don't feel discouraged. Like all these smaller channels, if you don't have a lot of people on your channel, don't feel discouraged. I didn't either. Mine's picking up, okay? I see good things in the future. Do I think that I'm going to have 300,000 subscribers? No. No. No, 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 no. It's a click, okay? It's a click, and what's bad is it's smaller channels doing this. It's not the big guys. Big guys don't care. They've got all the people they want. It's the smaller channels that are doing this excluding stuff. And you know, hey, I'm here to promote you. I mean, I think it's great. And I'll go watch the content, make sure it's, you know, family friendly and all that. But, you know, if you want to hear the real truth, sometimes you need less bells and whistles, okay? Sometimes you just need something smaller to get the truth. And that's why I support the little guy. And I'll always support the little man. So anyway, I am one, okay? I'm regular. I'm a regular Joe. So anyways, that's what's going on. We are going to do the gardens. I kind of just had a rant today. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm just telling you like I see it. So if you're concerned, you can let me know below about anything with the environment or the carbon footprint. And yeah, we don't try to go out here and destroy the land. I love the land. This land's been in my family for hundreds of years, since the American Revolution. I had someone in my bloodline that's buried right here fighting the American Revolution. So, you know, this means a lot. A lot. I mean, that one person settled here. This land, I wouldn't do anything to hurt this land. I wouldn't do anything. I love the environment. I'm not, do I wake up every day and that's the first thing on my mind? Absolutely not. But I wouldn't do anything to hurt this land or hurt anything. But I don't see a problem with having a backyard garden. The experts disagree. So, I don't know. Sometimes they say it's great, sometimes they don't. You figure that out for yourself. I think it's great for you to get out and garden. I think it's good. I think it's a healthy habit. I think it's great to have your own food. What are you going to do if they ever do put restrictions on this? I don't think they will. I really don't. I just don't see that happening. They might, though. I mean, this world is so nutty. They could. Who knows? The main question is, what are you going to do when we can't get exports in here? That's the problem. That's the number one problem. We've already got the weather to contend with in our own area. What are you going to do? We always just buy something from Timbuktu. What are you going to do if Timbuktu can't get it here? That's the whole point. You need to learn how to garden. You've got to. You've got to understand this. And there's really no way to tell you guys this without, I hate to say this, but without it sounding political, okay? Because if you do, it's going to be taken politically. The shape we're in and everything else, you've got to understand, if something happens and stuff is rationed, look at World War II. Look at World War II. Sugar was rationed, things like that, even if it's having to go to soldiers. I don't know with this day and age if that would ever happen, okay? But you look at the Great Depression. Things have happened, and you know, history repeats itself. People need to learn how to garden and grow. If they don't, I guess they would learn really quick. That's all I can say. I take a passion in this because it seems like, I know with the people my age, they just don't care. They don't care. They're not awake to the truth. They don't even care what the truth is. I think they know it. They don't care because they're too busy living in their own world, and they think it's an isolated bubble and nothing will happen to them or nothing will ever change, and they think that stuff on the shelves will always be there. Rewind a few years ago when stuff wasn't there. My local Walmart is still not stocked. They've got certain things stocked to the ceiling, and Friday there was 1 sack of self-rising flour on the shelf. Why is it not fixed by now? You know, I mean, and even if it's there on the shelf for you to buy, what I noticed at Walmart this past week, the price of pork is ridiculous. The number one ad that I've seen float through my videos, rewatching them to make sure everything uploaded okay, is about African swine flu and how the pork's dying out because these pigs because of the swine flu. So the price of pork's up, okay? I've never seen pork chops that expensive, ever. It was like $8 for a pack of 4, and they were thin little, just pitiful things. I think a container of grapes, $5. Everything's so much more expensive. So even if it's there, can you afford it? I just don't see how people are making it. I really don't. I guess they've got to work 2 jobs apiece to make ends meet. I don't know. We do pretty well here with just my husband working, but we grow so much of what we eat. That's our only bill, really. We don't have bills. We have no debt, so I don't know. I live a very plain and simple life. So I don't have to, go shop every day. I certainly don't. I do not. I've told you about my grandmother and having to do stuff with her, and now I've had to go to the stores for her and do a lot of stuff running around more than I have. There was, I think, a month I didn't even leave the property here. I've got everything I need right here. Focus on that. Have everything you need right there at your house if at all possible, okay? Garden this year. I've told you we're going to have the best garden ever. So anyways, we're gardening this year. I don't know about you guys. We've been all over the road today. I'm going to kind of end the video here. You can let me know what you think below and go from there. So we're going to get out here and take care of our chickens and go from there. We'll see you guys next time on Farm and Homestead.